What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, alright, we're coming back to Nirvana. Yes, indeed, Nirvana Fans FEELIN YOU. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbidi-bobbidi bop, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Jason Schaff, and it was also the winner of the Patreon request prioritization poll, winning with 44% of the vote and a coin flip. We had a tie. So it got the win. I think it beat Volbeat, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I forgot who it beat, but it doesn't matter. The loser goes back in line. Back to where it was. It never got moved up. They're just, look, when you lose one of the prioritization polls, you don't lose your spot. You keep your spot. It's just the winner moves up to the front of the line. That's all. So anyway, 44% of the vote and the coin flip, moving it from number 762 in the queue straight up to number 1. So yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, your voice, your vote does matter. They all want to see me react to this. It is Nirvana with a tune called Serve the Servants. Now, have I heard the song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a minute, hang on a second, I recognize this song, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Let's see, this was posted by No Recess. I get it, okay. And the video has 2.1 million views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Nirvana, Serve the Servants. Cool. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Instead
I'm going to say something here. And I really don't want Nirvana fans to take this the wrong way, because it could be very easily taken the direction I don't want it to be taken. So before you jump on me, guys, hear me out. Okay, I promise I'll explain what I mean by what I'm about to say here. The song is surprisingly commercial. Not at all what I was expecting. This sounds, I don't know if it was or not. This sounds like this could have been a hit song. This sounds like a song that could have gotten a lot of radio play. It follows a lot of the same formats that a lot of hit songs were following in the 90s. One of the reasons why I really didn't listen to music in the 90s on mainstream radio. And I stuck to prog and I stuck to jazz. But it follows the definite formula, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus. Probably a solo section maybe coming up. Back to either chorus twice or pre-chorus, chorus, or maybe even verse, skip the pre-chorus and go to chorus. That's usually how it would go. One of those three ways. I'm a little surprised. But here's the thing. I don't think this was Kurt's call. Okay, Kurt wrote this, obviously he did, but I have a feeling, I have a theory. I have a feeling that he may have been forced to write a song like this by the record label. The record label, after the success that they had with Nevermind, when they wrote this album, probably came to Kurt and said, listen, we want more hit songs. What they're basically telling him at that point is, we don't care about your artistic integrity. We don't care about you expressing yourself. We care about making money. And that's all we care about. So give us hit songs. And he wrote this. Maybe in protest, possible. If you look at the name of the song, Serve the Servants. This has always been a point of contention in the music industry. Who serves who? Who serves who? The record label is supposed to serve the artist. The record label is supposed to be at the artist's disposal. The record label is supposed to help the artist getting on tour, getting exposure, helping them make money so that the record label makes money, right? Everybody makes money, everybody's happy. But then again, from the record label's point of view, the musicians and the artists and the bands serve them. And unfortunately, according to the writing in the contracts especially with the 360 deal, that is exactly what it is. The band doesn't even become a band anymore. It becomes a product. The band members aren't even, free will people anymore. They are indentured servants. I mean, that's really what it is. When you sign a 360 deal, you are at the beck and call. You are a show pony for the record label. Oh, what's that? You don't like wearing pink tutus on stage? Too bad, because that's what the record label wants you to wear, and you're gonna wear them. Otherwise, you're in breach of contract. So, I wonder if Kurt may have written this song with a commercially appealing song structure and chordal progression while kind of taking the jab at them with the title of the song, Serve the Servants. Very possible. Just not at all what I was expecting musically. I was expecting a little more angst. I was expecting a little more rawness. I was expecting, a little more punk attitude. I hate to say it. This sounds like Billboard Top 200. I mean, it really does. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I'm sure. I don't know if this was a big hit for them or not. I don't know if it was, but it definitely sounds like it should have been. So Anyway, let's keep going here. Back up a little bit. Guitar solo. Called it. Let's see what they do coming out of the guitar solo. Chorus. I'm probably gonna do the chorus twice. And again. All of it again. And disjointed, angsty, disjointed ending, cacophonous ending. Typical of 90s rock bands. Yep. Boy, they followed the formula perfectly. Probably exactly what the record label wanted them to do. Again, not at all what I was expecting. I have mixed feelings about this. Musically, looking at the song from a song structure standpoint, from a songwriting standpoint, everything sounded good, everything sounded conducive, everything sounded fine. As a Nirvana song, I gotta be honest with you folks, I'm a little disappointed. I am. This is not at all what I was expecting. I need to think about this. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Nirvana with Serve the Servants. This was a request from Jason Schaff, and it was also the winner of the Patreon Request Prioritization Poll with 44% of the vote and a coin flip. That's how close it got. It won a 50-50 chance. So, I mean, it did win, but man, it was very close. It was number 762 in the queue. It got bumped straight up to number 1. So yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, your voice, your vote does matter. Okay, before I get to my score, I got to give my spiel. I'm doing this in every single video for the entire month of March. If you've already heard it, feel free to skip forward, seriously, about 5 minutes. And you'll be just about there. Can't wait for March to be over. I had to keep giving this spiel. Okay, look, there's two things. Number one, we are going back to the old scoring system, okay? You guys made it very clear that's what you guys wanted to do, and I have no problem with it. I really don't. I'm perfectly fine with it. But you guys made it very clear. Majority spoke. About 2/3 of the votes were for us going back to the old scoring system, so that's what we're doing. During the live stream that we had to discuss the scoring system, I did make this comment that if we do go back to the old scoring system, we gotta make some changes. And the reason for that is this. The main reason people were opposed to a 5-star system was because there was gonna be a lot of 4 stars given out. There was gonna be a lot of repetition, a lot of saturation of the 4-star ratings across a lot of bands with a lot of different songs. And the thing is, I completely agree with those people. That probably would have happened. Here's the thing. It's already been happening the whole time during the course of this channel. If you go back to the very beginning of the channel and watch every single video, you're gonna see that about 2/3 of the scores that I've given out fall between 7.4 and 8.6. Now, I know people in their head right now are doing the math and they're going, well, that's 13 different scores. That's a big number. Well, you're partly right. It is 13 different scores, yes, out of 100 possible scores. So we're talking about a 13% margin as opposed to a 20% margin that we would have had using the star system. You see what I mean? Yeah, we would have had a lot of 4s, but that would have been that would have been a big window, 20%, as opposed to having a 13% more condensed, more concentrated window. So that problem exists. And I told people during the course of the live stream that if we go back to the old scoring system, I'm perfectly fine with it, but we gotta make a change. And the change is this. I have got to get tougher. I have got to get harder. I have got to make it more difficult to get those higher scores. And we really need to focus on making 5 the middle ground. 5 is the average, okay? So I said that during the live stream, and everybody seemed to be in agreement with that, and everybody said no problem. It'd be actually kind of nice if you did get a little tougher. So here we are. It's going to be a lot harder now to get a 7. It's going to be even harder to get an 8. And I'm going to be honest with you folks, getting a 9 is going to be pretty much impossible now. If you get a 9 now, boy, did you earn it. Oh man. Okay, that's point number 1. Point number 2, it was also suggested during the live stream that because the whole reason I was going to switch to a 5-star system was to make it easier to understand and easier for me to convey what the song really stood, or where the song really stood as far as my grading scale goes. 5 out of 5 stars, it's a lot easier to understand. But since we are going back to the old scoring system, people suggested, why don't you do more than one type of scoring? Maybe do a letter grade, maybe do a star with the old scoring system. I got no problem with that. I think that's actually a great idea, and that's what I've been doing ever since we started filming for March. On the plus side, I'm sure this is going to eliminate a lot of confusion, a lot of misconception, and a lot of miscommunication, and it's going to help people really kind of understand and internalize what is being meant and what these scores really stand for. The downside, unfortunately, longer videos with more talking. So sorry about that, but that's the only way we can make it work. So anyway, having said, and by the way, there's going to be 4 different ways that I'm going to be given the score. I'm going to be giving the old scoring system score, the old numeric score. I'm going to be giving a scale rating, like great, really good, pretty good, okay, so forth and so on. I'm going to be giving it a star rating. So we are still going to use the 5-star scoring system just in conjunction with the old scoring system. And I'm also going to give it a letter grade for those people who just cannot get their mindset out of elementary school. So that's how it's going to work. 4 different ways to interpret the exact same score. Now, as the viewers, if you cannot take at least one of these 4 and internalize it and interpret it and understand it, then I'm sorry, I can't help you. I cannot help you. My suggestion, in all honesty, you probably want to find another channel, because this is probably not going to be the channel for you, okay? I'm being honest with you guys. Best of luck to you, okay? That would be my suggestion. Now, having said all of that, boy, I can't wait for March to be over and I can stop this. Okay, let's get to the score. On a scale of 1 to 10, and yes, I'm going to continue to say 1 to 10. I know it's 0.0 to 9.9, but you know what? 1 to 10 rolls off the tongue way better than 0.0 to 9.9. So deal with it. I am not changing it. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that a 6.7. Yep, 6.7. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, 6.7. What does that mean? It means it's a pretty good song. It gets a pretty good on the scale, 3 out of 5 stars, and believe it or not, a B letter grade. Yes, a B. It's a low B, but it is a B, not B minus. We haven't gone down to the B minuses yet, but on the tail end of the low Bs. Yes, okay. So a 6.7, pretty good score, 3 out of 5 stars, B letter grade, okay? There you go. It all means the exact same thing. Now, how did we get to that score? So glad you asked. It's a pretty good song. It is. It's from a songwriting standpoint, pleasing to the ear. I love the use of the sevens. I didn't make mention of that during the reaction, but don't think I didn't catch that. Always going up to the 7 right before transitioning to the next chord, and then going up to that 7 before transitioning back down to the root again. Going up to the 7 before transitioning to the next chord. Going up to that 7 before going back to the root chord again. Great utilization of the 7. Very, very appealing to the ear. It really was. Very nice. Very nicely done. And it's not like they were hammering it into your skull. It's not like, here is the 7, listen to it, enjoy it, love it, love it. It wasn't doing that. It wasn't doing that at all. It was being done very subtly. It's so subtle, in fact, I'll be honest with you, the first time through the verses, I didn't catch it. I didn't catch it until the lyrics kicked in. I was like, wait a minute. What is that? Is that it's not the 5th. Is that a flat 6? No, it's not a flat 6. It's a minor 7. Oh my gosh, how cool is that? I didn't make mention of it because I knew I was going to do it here. So, but I thought that was really, really cool. The chordal progression, very pleasing to the ear. Very easy to follow. No problems there. I wouldn't say a mellow song, but it definitely had a nice laid back feel to it. Again, very pleasing to the ear. Very nice. Very, very, very pleasing indeed. Vocally, his vocal performance, very conducive to the song. The style of music that was being played, his vocal approach matched it perfectly. I got no issue with the song. None. From a songwriting standpoint, it's a pretty good song, man. It's a solid song. Here's the thing. This does not sound like Nirvana. It really doesn't. I was expecting something a little more angsty, something a little more angry, something a little more frantic, something a little more punk, something with a little bit of more edge to it. I'm gonna be honest with you, folks. This song could be top 40. No, I can hear this song being played on top 40 radio, no problem. Billboard top 200, no problem. And here's the worst part. I could hear other bands playing this song and it would fit perfectly. Like, I'm not saying this to put down Nirvana, and I'm not saying this to put down Pearl Jam, but what if Pearl Jam played this song? Wouldn't that fit? Could you imagine Eddie Vedder singing those lyrics? It sounds to me like, in my head, it sounds like a perfect fit. That's not right. That does not compute. It should. Okay, let me rephrase that. It should not compute. Here's my suspicion, and I don't know anything about the song, but here's my suspicion. After the success of Nevermind, the record executives came to the band and said, listen, and this is following the old Def Leppard story, okay, when it came to Mutt Lange, you know, when he produced, what was the album? Pyromania, and it had, how many hits did Pyromania have? 5, I think. And the record label came to Mutt Lange and said, hey, that's great. You did 5 hit songs off one album. On the next album, we need at least 7 or 8. I forgot it was 7 or 8. And thus came Hysteria. And Hysteria did produce, I think, 8 number 1 songs, I think it was. God, the stress and the pressure that Def Leppard must have been under. The stress and pressure that Mutt Lange must have been under from the record label. It's because the record label doesn't care. The record label cares about one thing and one thing only. They have to care about making money. So, come back to Nirvana. After the success of Nevermind, and how many hit songs did Nevermind produce? 4, 5, I think. 5, I think it was 4 or 5. I'll bet you anything the record label probably came to Nirvana and said, listen, you struck gold with Nevermind. You made us a lot of money. We want you to make us even more money. On the next album, we want at least 2 more hit songs than you had on your previous album. Which I'm sure made Kurt feel wonderful. Because now he's in a position where he has to produce, or the record label is going to be pissed. So the record label wants hit songs? Fine. Kurt's going to write hit songs. Here you go. Enjoy. I hate to use this word, very generic sounding for the time period. I even called it. When I did the pause, I even told you how the ending was going to go. And I've never heard the song before. I called it guitar solo. And then the ending is going to be one of three things. And the first thing I said was chorus twice. What happened? Guitar solo, chorus 1, chorus 2, coffinous ending. Very typical of 90s bands. Good Lord. There was nothing about this song that screamed Nirvana. Really, there wasn't, other than the song title. And I have my suspicions about the song title. I think the song title is a jab at the record producers. Who serves who? The record label is supposed to serve the artists. The record label it should support the artists. The record label should back the artists. Get the artists back. Get the bands back in everything. Help promote the band. Instead, the way it is these days especially, bands serve the record label. They sign a 360 deal and they turn over all of their rights, including image and in licensing, publishing, distribution, likeness, you name it. It all becomes the property of the record label to utilize however they want. And you know how the record label wants to utilize it? Make as much money as possible. Forget about artist integrity. Forget about artistic vision. Forget about what the band wants. Record label is gonna turn their commodity, because that's what the band becomes, a commodity, into a money-making machine by following formulas that have worked time and time again in the past. And that's exactly what this song sounds like. You could seriously take this song and you could give it to any other band in the 90s and it would sound good. I brought up Pearl Jam as an example, but I guarantee you there are other bands out there during the 90s that could have taken this song, made it work. Blind Melon, sure, why not? How about Spin Doctors? Yeah, I could see that. I could see that working, sure. There's a lot of bands that could have taken this song and ran with it. So, yeah, it's disappointing from a Nirvana standpoint, but at the same time, you know, from a songwriting standpoint, it sounds just fine. I have no problem with the songwriting. It just doesn't sound like Nirvana. It really doesn't. I feel bad. I don't know if I'm right or not about my theory about how this came to be, but it wouldn't shock me if that is what happened. So anyway, that's just my theory. I don't know if it's right or not. I'm not saying it's fact, but I'm just saying this is what I think happened. I think this is how this song came about. So with a nice title, Jab, Jab, Jab at the record label. So anyway, it is a pretty good song. It is. And that's why I'm giving it the pretty good score of 6.7. I feel good about that score, and that's where we're going to stay. So to sum it all up, here we go. 6.7 score. Pretty good on the grading scale. 3 out of 5 stars. A B letter grade. Take your pick. I don't care. Whichever one of those floats your boat. Final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.